Star Trek Beyond is the third movie in the, I believe it's called the now Calvin timeline, which is the reboot or the newer Star Trek movies, starting from the first one back in 2009. It is directed by Justin Lin, who you may have heard from the Fast and Furious franchise. He directed the last few of them. He is now on to do Star Trek Beyond. It stars Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, Kyle Urban, Simon Pegg, and Idris Elba as the main bad guy. Basically, the plot is the crew of the Enterprise is, as seen from the end of the second movie, they're on a 5-year journey to discover a new planet, new life, and all that. And midway through it, they are called on to do a rescue mission, bring people back from a planet that was stranded, and come back, and then they can continue on with their mission, except something attacks them and leaves them also crash landed on that planet without no working ship, and it takes it from there. I'm not going to say much past that because I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, basically they are stranded now on this planet, and they need to try and find a way. They need to find out who did it and find out a way to get off the planet. Overall, I did enjoy this movie. This is one of the better summer movies that came out so far. Unlike a lot of people, especially Trekkies, Star Trek fans, I enjoyed the second movie, but I understand its flaws, considering if you're expecting a movie about diplomacy and chemistry between characters, stuff like that, it would not be a movie for you. As a dark action movie with some jokes here and there, I did like Into Darkness. And Beyond is completely different from that, in that it does have a serious plot. But it's more friendly. It's more fun. It's a fun time to watch. You can sit down, you'll have a good time watching it. The chemistry between the cast is great. Seeing the interactions between them is great. Chekhov and, Kirk, that's a nice interaction to see. And then, of course, Spock and, the Doctor, Bones. So, the interaction between those. Karl Urban is just great in the film. I was kind of surprised. He is probably the funniest part of the film. Just the way they use him, and then the situations he's in, he is pretty funny, and he's definitely not a lot more used than Into Darkness, which was like 20 minutes maybe at most. This one, you feel that there is everyone in the main cast, gets screen time, everyone gets to be seen and do something useful, but the main three from this movie is, Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Karl Urban, those trio of characters, Kirk, Spock, and Bones. You can definitely tell those are the three main ones, and it does work well. The action is also pretty good as well, as, you kind of expected that part at least, considering, Justin Lin, Fast and Furious, all the action scenes, especially in the last few movies, you would expect something from that. And he does deliver, definitely, on the action scenes. They are pretty good. The plot is kind of by the numbers, as a slight negative, a small negative, but it does work well for the film. And what I mean by that is, you can see stuff coming. Some of it is a little cliche, obviously this is going to happen, and then it happens. But it does make sense in the movie. It is fine. It does work. It's enjoyable. A plot by the numbers will fit if the cast is great, the action, and everything else is good, which it is. So that works fine. The script is tight. It was co-written actually by Simon Pegg, who, also stars in the film. The script is tight in that everything featured is used. There's not a plot point that just drops off and just never seen again. Everything you see at the beginning of the film, either a plot point or something that they might use, is used. The plot point is wrapped up by the end of the film. You see characters develop from at the beginning of the film to the end of the film. You see them develop a little bit. Some characters aren't developed that much, especially Zoe Saldana's character hasn't really developed that much. Karl Urban characters, Bones doesn't really develop that much. He's just there more for a comedy relief, kind of. And for if you want to eat, a character needs to talk to someone, you talk to Bones. He's there for that, or comedy relief. But besides that, the main two characters that did get development were Kirk and Spock. They both have arcs in the movie that start at the beginning of the film. And they move on and they improve from that. One scene that does stand out that I'm surprised it did was the Enterprise. If you've seen the trailers or TV spots or all that, is the Enterprise crashing down. They did that really well. Obviously, the running joke now is that, damn, Kirk always gets the Enterprise just broken up, either in the first one or the second one, and now it's wow, the Enterprise just can't catch a break. And for this one, Justin Lin didn't treat the Enterprise as just an action prop, crash landed, whoop-de-doo. The scene of the Enterprise, actually, the battle on the Enterprise, as they're invading and attacking, shooting down the Enterprise, it's a good, 10-15 minutes at least, and it has emotional weight to it. to the fact that the crew has to abandon, they're trying to save the ship, and then boom, it just like the engines are being ripped out and there's no choice but to abandon the ship. And you can feel the weight that everyone is upset that they have to do this. They didn't want to do this, but they have no choice, otherwise they are going to die. So Justin Lin treated the Enterprise basically, being destroyed with respect and, the emotional weight it should have. It's not like, oh, it got shot down, oh well, like a car in the Fast and Furious. It's not treated like that. It's treated with more weight. And considering, the Enterprise is an icon of Star Trek, it's nice that he treated that with respect. The mixing of tones with the editing is actually pretty good, in that there can be one scene, say between Bones and Spock, that leaves you laughing, and in the next scene, it's a more serious scene with, say, Kirk trying to figure out what happened on the planet. It's able to mix those well, constantly, so it doesn't feel like something is out of place. Like, oh, you shouldn't be laughing at this scene, it should be sad. Like, no, they've been going back and forth, and in this part, it makes sense why they would be laughing. The only negative I really have is that the film is kind of short. It clocks in, I think, with the credits at just around 2 hours, which I feel an extra 10-15 minutes, obviously it shouldn't be 2.5, 3 hours, but an extra 10 to 15 minutes maybe on the planet would have been useful, because at times I didn't feel like they weren't in that much danger. Though the plot, what the villain wants to do, obviously they are in danger. It's just at times I didn't feel they were that much in danger. So I feel an extra 10-15 minutes maybe on the planet, like a sense of despair and stuff, would have helped realize, like, yeah, you can have fun and stuff, but this is also a serious issue in the film, and that they need to try and find a way to stop it. But that's just a minor nitpicking about the film. Otherwise, it is a great time. It is one of the better summer movies this year, and I will be ranking the summer movies I saw in a couple weeks once the rest of the summer movies are out. This will be near the top of the list, if not the top of the list. It will be up there. So I'm going to give Star Trek Beyond an 8.5 out of 10. And I recommend you watch it in theaters. Some of the space sequences are just amazing. Like space sequences you should see on the big screen, and I guess maybe IMAX too, but I think it's a bit too late for that one. Definitely go see it in the theaters. It is worth your money. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10, and go see it in theaters. And that is my review of Star Trek Beyond.